So we've got the potential rebirth of the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist. We got spoilers for Boruto episodes 28 and 29 now. I want to give everybody a warning and say these are potential spoilers because I don't fully trust this website, but if this website is actually pushing out fake spoilers, then I guess I'm a dumbass and they convinced me because these spoilers actually do somewhat fall in line with the events that have recently taken place in the previous few weeks' episodes. I say that because in Shojiro's Hidden Mist Village, under his guidance, there is an implication that Kagura is going to be one of the successors to the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist. We know there's 7 members, there could only be 7 members at a time, and they each individually wield one special sword, and these swords are passed down from generation to generation, so there's multiple generations of 7 Swordsmen of the Mist, and not every single one of these members necessarily is stuck to one generation. They can spill over to the next as maybe members die, for instance. But as of this moment in the Boruto anime, we've really had no 7 Swordsmen of the Mist expansion, other than, of course, that Kagura could be one of the successors to the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist. If I'm not mistaken, Zabuza's sword was returned to the Hidden Mist Village at some point, and that's important because at some point they're going to select the next wielder of Zabuza's sword, and I think it'll be pretty cool to see who that is. In fact, if there's one thing the Boruto anime could do better than all of the previous Naruto material up until this point, is actually expand on every single one of the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist, give them personalities, make them relevant, have them appear time and time again in the story, because when it came to the previous generation of the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist, we either saw them in flashbacks for, one arc, right, like Zabuza, of course you had Kisame in multiple different arcs appearing randomly, but other than that, they were kind of all jumbled up within the war arc, and they were revived, and we got to see them here and there, but not really much to, I guess in a way, connect to the characters. And a lot of them are very interesting, and also psychotic, like Tenpachi, who killed his older brother, or Raiga, who had that, little kid on his shoulder, and he loved the kid, right? He loved the kid with the eye powers, but ultimately he was a psycho, and he went on, killing sprees randomly, and everybody was scared of him, and even Zabuza was an asshole, and to some degree you can't fully blame Zabuza because he's a product of his environment. He was forced to take tests where he had to kill all of his comrades and all of his classmates. That'll really traumatize someone and change them, and not for better. Which really doesn't surprise me that he tried to assassinate the Mizukage of his village at the time, because when that was mentioned that Zabuza tried to do a coup on the village, I'm like, this guy's just an asshole, he's just an utter moron, how are you going to try and attack the Mizukage? But then later on, when we find out it's Yagura, and Yagura was savagely raising his generation to kill each other, it's was Zabuza really doing a bad thing by trying to assassinate Yagura? Probably not. Without further ado, let's read some of these potential spoilers. Let's get an idea of where the Boruto anime is headed, because this could end up being a crazy arc. If Shisuma gets his way, then he will be able to revive the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist. So I'm guessing they're talking about the previous generation of the 7 Swordsmen. And that would make sense because Shisuma just killed one of his followers in cold blood, because I'm guessing he didn't get the job done that he wanted him to get done, right? So do you think this guy's gonna try and rally up the current 7 Swordsmen of the Mist under Chojuro, assuming that there are actually other 7 Swordsmen of the Mist? No, he's gonna go for the savages back in the day. Weekly Shonen Jump releases a slew of new Boruto summaries, and the synopsis for the episodes 28-29 give fans a heads up about Shisuma's plans. Episode 28, which will be titled A Declaration of War, will see Shisuma reveal his dark plans for the Mist Village. Okay, I actually want to know what this guy wants done. What are you trying to do here? Shisuma and the friends he has gathered are unsatisfied with the peaceful ninja world as it is now, until they get slaughtered and they can't have an opinion, of course, and seeks to resurrect the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist and throw the world into war and chaos once more. Do you really think that's going to work, Shisuma Hoshigaki? I know you're related to Kisame, one of the Akatsuki members, and I'm sure that boosts your ego, and you got some powers yourself. And it's been stated that the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist behind, the Mizukage could take down an entire village together. But in today's world, today's global world, where all the villages are connected, where you got your own village working against you, do you really think that's going to work? Do you think you're going to turn this, whole world into war by reviving the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist? doesn't make much sense. By episode 29, Shisama will make a big step in resurrecting the once infamous group. Shisama and his gang will get their hands on the misfabled demon swords, and the newly formed 7 swordsmen of the mist finally make their move and begin their rebellion. For those of you unfamiliar with the 7 swordsmen of the mist, then you have a lot of history to brush up on. The group was first introduced to fans in Naruto when Zabuza Momochi appeared in the Wave Country arc. The rogue ninja was a former member of the group who wielded the Executioner's blade. It has a Japanese name, of course, but I don't know it. Kisame of the Akatsuki was also part of the organization as he was given Samehada. In Boruto, Chojuro wields one of the swordsman weapons as the 6th Mizukage. The organization has since been reinstated in the Mist Village, but it is no longer considered to be a terrorist group. Shisama wants to revert the 7 swordsmen of the Mist back to its original status of being like savage, cruel, even though that's not what they're supposed to be. That's what they end up being because of the system and how they were raised and how they had to kill the classmates and all that stuff. And it will likely fall to Boruto to warn the Mizukage of the ninja's impending betrayal. And all of this, guys, it really makes me feel like duh. Okay, because you got Chojuro, right? He's about to select Kagura as not only like one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, giving him Haramekai, the sword, but he also wants this dude to be the next Mizukage. Like, do you know how unstable this dude is? Like, do you know how he can barely hold a sword, and you want him to take up all these responsibilities? It's a no-brainer how things are going to get chaotic in this arc. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you excited for the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist return? Which members do you think we're going to end up seeing? Completely new ones? Members of the past? I mean, they'd have some explaining to do, of course, if they did that. And you saw it in the opening, guys. Boruto and Kagura are going to fight, and they're probably going to establish a rivalry. So that nice boy facade, that nice cute boy facade he got going on, he's still cute, but he's an ass, all right?